Happy New Year, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. The DRF race of the day for New Year's Day is race number 8 at Aqueduct. Mike, and it's never too early for a Kentucky Derby qualifying points prep as we take a look at the field for the $150,000 Jerome Stakes. Maybe it is for the horsemen because we only get 5 here, but you do get Kentucky Derby points on the line.
Yeah, I was going to say I disagree a little bit. I think it might be a little too early for Derby points. I guess we'll see what happens, Dan. They didn't get much of a field here. I'm going to just say this about the race with only 5 entered. At least the morning line favorite at 7-5 is Swill, and I got to say I'm not much of a fan of this horse.
I have to admit, I kind of agree with you, although he certainly fits in this field. I'm not sure how low I would go, but remember to take a look at those free formulator past performances on the Race of the Day event page at DRF.com. Download them, handicap along with us. Mike, let's take a look at the Timeform U.S. pace projector. The Jerome, of course, is a one-turn mile. Swill is expected to be on or near the early lead. Kendrick Carmouche riding lights out right now. He is very, very aggressive. I think Capo Kane's got to go from the inside post under Dylan Davis.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see the 1 go. Certainly the 2 is going to go in here. I'm assuming Kendrick will try to make the lead. This horse could not make the lead in his last race, but I think that's probably where he wants to be. Even Eagle Orb, the 4, they have him 4th early. He's not a slow horse.
One of the major changes in New York racing in 2021, no Lasix in any of the stakes races. That will only affect the one, Capo Kane, who raced with Lasix in both starts as a 2-year-old at Parks, including this race on November the 25th. Now, Capo Kane was the favorite in this race, and he controlled a race that really just held together. They ran 1, 2, 3 around the track. He earned a pretty good speed figure despite being a little bit green. You're going to see him drift out considerably in the stretch, but a 73 buyer, as a 2-year-old, late 2-year-old, nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, I mean, he ran fine in this race. He did get control of the pace in here, as you mentioned. There really weren't any moves going on behind him. But I thought he looked good winning. I thought it was a nice step forward off his debut, Dan, where he actually ran okay. He chased down the 7-5 favorite in that race, and then he got outfinished late in that spot. But I thought he ran okay first time out, and he certainly took a step forward last time.
Let's talk a little bit about Swill, your morning line favorite. This is a horse who raced with blinkers 2 starts back at Churchill Downs and was a maiden winner, pretty much getting to a nice easy lead and sprinting on home. Now, they tried 2 turns without blinkers in the Kentucky Jockey Club. He made a bid on the turn, flattened out a little bit late. That race, to me, Mike, I don't know. I know Keep Me in Mind's a pretty decent horse. He was a maiden going in, but he certainly had credentials. He gets class relief, Swill. I'm not sure I love the Kentucky Jockey Club as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that. You know, I guess you could say in his defense in that race, it was the first time they stretched him out. And he did. You could see Jerome trying to make the lead with him early on in there, but the pace was a little too fast. He couldn't get there. After that, I just really didn't see him do that much running, Dan, so I was a little disappointed. And that comes off the heels of 3 starts over the summer where, you know, I guess he ran fine. I didn't really feel like he did anything special in any of those races. So if he's going to be a really short price in this race, I'm happy to try to beat him.
Hold the Salsa is the number 3, our first of 2 New York breds coming up. Hold the Salsa has won 2 out of his last 3 starts, going 7 furlongs. He's now going to stretch back out to the mile where he just didn't fire, it seemed, in the Sleepy Hollow. But they cut him back in the New York Stallion Series last time out, and this was a likable performance at 5-1 as we take a look at Hold the Salsa in the stretch. He's on the outside. He sat just off the pace, and he's going to grind him down to score with a 68 buyer speed figure. He's a 3-time winner, the only 3-time winner of the group.
Yeah, he's a 3-time winner. He's actually run pretty well in basically all of his races, Dan. I guess we'll see what happens. He ran fine in this race, but this race really did set up pretty well for him. There was a competitive pace going on in there. He was able to sit off it and get the job done at the end. He's very likable, as you said. I think that's a good way to put it. He's pretty slow on the way into this race, though.
Eagle Orb with the number 4 is faster. He's earned career best buyer speed figures of 74 in his last 2 starts, including this race, the Notebook, going 6 furlongs. Now, Eagle Orb was a little bit rambunctious before the start. He actually broke through the gate. Didn't phase him in the least. He's on the outside right now. He's going to wear these horses down, and he almost took them all the way going a mile 2 starts back. I thought that was a race that was okay considering what Brooklyn Strong has done since that performance.
Yeah, agreed. His only try at a mile 2 back, he actually ran really well that day, on the lead the entire way, would not give in through the stretch before Brooklyn Strong finally reeled him in at the end. And of course, Brooklyn Strong did come back to win the Remsen with a 93 buyer. I mean, he ran well that day. I mean, I do think there's an argument to be made that he's better sprinting at this point, and I certainly feel like that could be the case. But man, he ran well over this distance 2 starts back, and I just like his tactical speed, Dan. You could go with him if you want to, but he's perfectly fine to sit off the pace a little bit too.
And completing the 5-horse, Jerome is Original, who sold for $425,000 as a 2-year-old in training. In his career debut, he didn't run very well. Let's be honest, with blinkers on. They took the blinkers off. He responded with a switch to turf where he was able to get a nice, easy lead over Yielding Going before sprinting home. This horse still is not exposed. He has a lot of upside potential, and maybe he just caught the right field.
Maybe. I won't be surprised if he runs better here, Dan. His debut on dirt, he really didn't do any running at all that day. But man, that was a really strong maiden race at Belmont Park. I mean, he faced a real good field that day. Obviously, he improved in his second start with turf in the stretch out. Was it the surface switch that led to that improvement? It's definitely possible. He's got a lot of turf in his pedigree, but maybe he just needed that first start. I think it's very interesting that Terra Nova elects to run him back in this spot.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the first race of the day of 2021. It's the Jerome for 3-year-olds. You're going with Eagle Orb, Mike. I just think this horse is improving with each and every start. We saw the step forward in the Sleepy Hollow going a mile. He got beat by the eventual Remsen winner. I liked what he did last time out in the notebook. And I like that he draws outside the main speeds in this race, Capo Kane and Swill. I just think a good trip is coming under Manny Franco.
I like all those things about him too, Dan. It's why I put him on top. I mean, save the Bongard there in October. I don't know what happened that day where he didn't run well. This horse has basically shown up every single time. I think he's in line for a really good trip here. And that 1-turn mile 2 back, he ran so well that day. I thought it was pretty encouraging.
I have to admit, I'm just not thrilled with the shorter priced horses in this race, the Swills or Hold the Salsa. Eagle Orb, I think, is going to take a little bit of money. I don't know. I'm going for the price. Capo Kane's the longest price on David Aragona's morning line. He did go gate to wire last time out at 1.70 miles, so I'm not worried about the distance. Yes, circumstances likely to be different here. The pace likely to be more competitive, and it's certainly a better bunch, but I'll take a chance with him with his 73 buyer staring me in the face. 1, 4, 2, and 3 for me. 4, 1, 2, and 3 for Mike. It's the Friday race of the day. It's the Jerome. Happy New Year. Best of luck.